Mismanaged finances are the top reason why businesses fail. Boom. Here's what you need to know. It's not just about how much money you're bringing in. It's about understanding where that money is going and how that money is working for you. Today, we're going to change your narrative. Hey, everybody, if you don't know who I am, I'm Carol Surbey. I'm a certified business systems coach, and I've owned my own business for over 25 years. I grew from a small concrete contracting company in Vancouver to one of its top specialty concrete businesses in the Greater Vancouver region. And I know about navigating every single financial hurdle that you've ever experienced. Now, I help businesses like you simplify success by transforming financial confusion into clarity. If you have ever felt blindsided by unexpected costs or unsure about your cash flow, you're not alone. And I have been there. And I'm here to help you shine a light on the areas of your business that might feel overwhelming and unclear. So here's our key takeaway for today. Financial clarity empowers confident decision making, ensuring that your business remains profitable and sustainable no matter what challenges arise. One of the biggest challenges for small business owners is facing inconsistent cash flow. Whether it's seasonal or you have a lull in business, or, between Canada and the US right now, we're looking at potential tariffs, and maybe some of our buyers are scared. Inconsistent cash flow is overwhelming, and not knowing whether you're going to have enough to cover your expenses each month can be really scary. This uncertainty, I'm sure you've been there, can lead to sleepless nights, reactive decisions, and the constant feeling of instability. To take control of your cash flow, start by tackling it daily. Utilize a simple tool. And as a matter of fact, I'm actually going to put a tool in the description for this video just for you. If you don't have a cash flow tool, let me give you one, okay? It's a simple tool. You can use an app or a spreadsheet, but we need to monitor every dollar coming in and out of the business. And with that, the main priority is to start to look at creating a buffer fund. I would prefer even if you took that buffer fund out of your main account and put it into a secondary account, so it's not as easily accessible for spending. Okay, we want to aim to save at least 3 months of your operational expenses. For those of you that aren't familiar with a profit and loss, it's one section on your P&L, and it covers all the expenses that you have to pay just because you're in business, such as your cell phone, your insurance, maybe you're renting an office, so the rent and the heat, your vehicle payment, all those kinds of things that we have to pay every single month, regardless if we actually invoice any money, okay? We want 3 months of those operational expenses set aside. And let's not forget our accounts receivable. We need to be following up consistently with our AR, because money out on the street is not money in our pocket, okay? And I'm assuming that when you set up your contract, you set up your accounts receivable terms. For you to be considered incongruency with how you show up and who you are, that also means that you're in congruency with your accounts receivable. If people owe you money and they've agreed to pay you and they're looking at paying you late, that is incongruent with who you are and how you showed up. Okay. So making sure that we have in place an accurate accounts receivable system with triggers in place to remind the client that payment is coming due. And then what is your follow-up process? So if, say, after 30 days, the payment hasn't been made, have we documented a systemized approach to bringing in those accounts receivable? If your answer is no, we need to commit to checking your cash flow and your accounts receivable daily. Okay. Let's talk about budgeting for profitability. Another common pain point is not knowing how to actually allocate your funds effectively. Many business owners set budgets, but unexpected expenses can quickly derail those plans. And that might leave you feeling like you're spinning your wheels. Without a clear, concise budget, your profitability suffers. Let me give you an example. And I've probably used this example someplace else before, but it's a good one. I had a client. He was a drywall guy, and he was working in a section of Calgary that is maybe a little seedy. So he's working in a commercial building. It is up on the third or fourth floor. And he comes out of the commercial building at 3:30 in the afternoon. Oh my God, his van is gone. His van and all of his tools that were in his van, the tools that he needs in order to do the work. He didn't have a tool replacement budget in place. It wasn't part of his process. He had to spend $15,000. $15,000. I'm speaking into my mic here, so you get the effect. He had to spend $15,000 of his profits because he didn't have that budget item in place. So your profitability suffers. And when your profitability suffers, your scaling or your growth becomes nearly impossible. Okay. So start by setting a realistic budget that categorize your expenses into fixed and variable and discretionary. And if you're not sure what you need to put in your budget, look at your experience over the last 12 months. Have you had a company van stolen with all the tools? And have you had to put $15,000 of profit into buying new tools? Well, maybe a new tools budget is something that we should consider. So that even if we only have $6,000 in that budget, at least now we're only paying out $9,000 of net profit rather than 15. I hope that really makes sense for you. And I hope that the example of the tools is something that really resonates with you. We also want you to consider adopting what we call a profit first system, making sure that your pricing is set up so that you, as the owner, get paid what you need. And then all the other funds can be allocated towards the expenses. Finally, reviewing your quarterly budgets, adjusting it based on your business performance. And what I mean by that is you might find that you're spending more of one budget than maybe of another budget. And maybe upon revisiting those budgets, you go, you know what? Maybe the one budget over here was a little aggressive. Maybe I'm going to take, instead of say, I don't know, 2% of my revenue going towards this budget, maybe I'm going to make it 1%. And I seem to be expending more over here than what I thought I would. So we actually move that additional 1% over there to help balance the budgets. And it is a bit of a challenge if you've never done this before. But we want our budgets to be realistic, and this is the work that needs to go in order to help that happen. Now let's talk about managing debt and managing expenses. Debt is a heavy weight that is holding both you and your business back, especially when you don't have clarity on which expenses are necessary. This lack of control absolutely decreases your ability to be flexible in your business. It increases your financial risk, and it leaves you stuck in a cycle of stress and fear. To manage debt effectively, start by identifying just your essential costs. List every expense and determine which ones are truly necessary. We could also contact vendors or lenders to negotiate better payment terms or bulk purchasing, right? Automating your bill payments is another way to avoid late fees and streamline your process.